welcome. It's Ronnie Reyes here at the Spark Your Heart Show. In studio today, my good buddy, Greg Swiszcz.
What's up, Ronnie Reyes?
What's happening, dog?
Hey, another Friday.
I have been waiting for you to sit in that chair, my man.
I'm here.
Yeah. Just a quick introduction. Greg is a graduate of UNLV. He is a graduate of Choice Center University. He was once my personal development coach.
That's right.
Very dear friend of mine. He is most proud of being an entrepreneur, and his immediate goals are launching on a big level the myvegasapartments.com.
That's right.
Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me here.
Yeah.
Excited.
So just to get things going, I had a lot of comments here on the phone through Facebook. People are asking me about accountability.
Perfect.
There's two schools of thought. Some people think you don't need an accountability buddy. I personally think you do. What are your thoughts on accountability?
So I think accountability is important. You know, it's all about doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And for the longest time, I've had an accountability buddy, and we can thank South Park for that. But really, I think it's important to have someone, if you have that ability, whether it's a friend, a mentor, a coach. But especially when you jump into the entrepreneurial space, there's so many things that you want to do, so much that you want to accomplish, that having someone that you can bounce ideas off of and share your goals with, and then they can kind of hold you accountable, make sure that you get there, because as an entrepreneur, you get pulled in so many different directions with your business that sometimes it's tough to stay on point. So having that person in your life, in your space, is very valuable, in my opinion. Yeah,
and then I don't know what your formal definition of accountability is. That's different for different people. What I'm trying to ask is, some people say, I don't need an accountability buddy. And if I pay a coach, if I pay a buddy, how is that true accountability? So I guess what I'm asking is, what are your thoughts on having a paid coach and, your wife be your accountability buddy?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think the first step is really just to have someone in your life that can hold you accountable. And for everyone, that's going to look different. The benefits of having a paid coach or a paid mentor or something like that, right. Is that person is really vested, or they're going to be vested in your success. For the longest time, I had one of my best friends who was my accountability buddy, and we just kind of, we had weekly meetings, and, I helped her with her business. She helped me with mine. And it just was a very good relationship, right, as far as being able to support each other. Not everyone has that kind of person in their life. So if you have the ability and you have the resources to be able to find a coach that you work well with, right, having that paid resource, they're going to invest in you. They're going to support you, and they're going to give you more time and effort. I
think there's a sincere difference between a buddy or a wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, because sometimes they turn into a yes man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's difficult. It was difficult for me to make the leap to paid coaching or paid mentor, whatever you want to call it. Again, how would you introduce somebody who's brand new to the coaching field, or to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. To say it's okay to pay this guy to coach you or to mentor you because he's the real deal. You touched on it a little bit, but if you can expand. Yeah, I mean, I think, if you can have multiple people to hold you accountable, I think that's a great way to go. Yeah. Having your brother, in my case, my brother is a big person that I go to for accountability, and, I don't have to pay him. But I think everyone should have a mentor or a coach in some aspect. Right. And really, even if you look at the world's biggest coaches, they still have coaches. Right. The biggest professionals have coaches, athletes and movie stars. They all have coaches. And 99% of them are paid coaches. Right. Because they know that those people are going to help hold them accountable. In regards to where to go for that coaching, there's plenty of different places, but if you know any person who's been in business for a while, that would be my first, and has been successful, that would be my first step, is saying, hey, who did you use as your coach? Who's your mentor? Who do you go to help hold you accountable and to help you grow when you need it most? Help push you when you need it most. Yeah. And going even one step further, when talking about accountability, does that mean being super rigid to an ideal, whether it's a business plan or we're planning a wedding, me and Angela? Sure. How can you be flexible and yet still be accountable? Flexibility, I guess, is the key question there. Well, I think the first thing is really looking at what your long-term goal is, and then kind of breaking it down into smaller wins. What does that look like? So, you guys are getting
married this year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, okay, by that date, you need to have your wedding planned. Yeah. Well, what can you do in smaller steps? And then you can celebrate those smaller wins, because then you build up momentum. Hey, I've got the invites out.
Right.
Hey, we've got the registration taken care of. We've got, the guest list done, and Aunt Joe doesn't have to sit next to Uncle Ed.
Right. And some people, because I have to admit, this is not my first marriage, but on my first marriage, I was the bridezilla. I was attached to how things should look and feel, and this music should play at this time. So I was having a really hard time being flexible. This time around, it's good. So I think accountability people shouldn't be afraid to be accountable.
No, I mean, I think it's great. And you had asked about being negotiable, like, can you be flexible at all? And I think absolutely. I think as long as, if you're holding me accountable and I say I want to get something done by today and I'm not on track, then as my coach or as my accountability buddy, I can say, hey, Ronnie, I didn't quite get to where I wanted to go. I'm going to move that deadline,
right?
Just giving you a heads up. And I think as long as you can admit to where you're at, whether you're on track or off track, and relay that information, I think communication is the biggest thing. So, because at that point you can then hold me accountable and say, okay, well, what didn't work? Why aren't you where you want it to be? It's not right or wrong. It's just, let's just figure out why that didn't happen so that this next deadline, you can make it happen by that date. Got it.
And then let's kind of transition here. I'm going to hold you accountable right now in regards to your business, brother. What's going on with myvegasapartments.com? What's the big idea for myvegasapartments.com?
Awesome.
And I think my next question, but I'm going to hang on to it.
We'll go one at a time. One at a time. So My Vegas Apartments is a subsidiary of My City Apartments. And My City Apartments I launched in Arizona back 3 years ago now. And what My City Apartments is, it's a local online apartment directory for the Phoenix metropolitan area. And we also service the Tucson area as well. And in addition to that, we're also a full service marketing and events company. And so what that means is we can handle anything from social media marketing to business card print and design to website design, you name it, we can do it. Right. But we service the local apartment communities.
And you're bringing that here to Vegas.
Bringing it here to Vegas by February 20th, or today's the 22nd. Yeah. By February 22nd, we'll be launched here in Vegas at myvegasapartments.com. And basically, we're bringing that entire concept here.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, here's my next question. I asked you this at brunch.
Sure.
How do you compete with forrent.com, apartments.com? These are huge national companies.
Exactly.
So what's your differentiation? What's going to say I'm going to go check out myvegasapartments.com?
Sure. So really, our goal is kind of twofold. One, we want to be that kind of one-stop resource for the apartment communities. And some of those larger national brands, their services, having been around for a long time, are kind of specific, and really we can get real customized with the opportunities that we have for the apartment communities here. And so really being able to be a full-on marketing person and company for them.
Right.
And in addition, on the consumer side, we really want to be local. That's really our thing, is what's local to you? What matters to you?
Right.
You can find an apartment community, but do you know that it's by UNLV?
Right.
What's important to you? And it's really being localized with the apartment communities with the consumer in mind.
Fantastic. So we are going to cut this a little bit short. We're going into part 2 of our show that always focuses on the turning point. We'll be back with Mr. Greg Swiszcz. We out.